Hi, I'm Mary Angela Parodi, and this is my Mystic Insights to support empaths, sensitives, and light workers on the path ahead. For this second half of October, we're still working with the same story from the beginning of October I spoke about in my previous video, which is about letting go of that older version that no longer serves so we can step into our new identity. As we do that, we are bringing the change forward. This is a really important time in October with Pluto moving forward as it bridges the gaps to 2020. We are starting to unshackle the past, and this isn't just in our lives but all over the world. The old structures are crumbling, and for us to step into this greater version of ourselves and rebirth into our greatest potential and our purpose and destiny, we have to let go of the younger version of ourselves that is still feeling suppressed, intimidated, not trusting, lack of confidence, so that we can step more fully into this greater version. 14th of October is this full moon in Aries. It's a fire sign, and so I invite you to sort of awaken the fire element within you. And so as we make that connection to the divine and the earth and create that channel and open up that space to receive, we're asking to invoke both the solar plexus and the base chakra to bring forward our momentum, our vitality, our strength and power. Even though this is a full moon, normally this is a time of culmination and completion, but this full moon in Aries feels more like a rebirth, a new beginning, as it creates more momentum for this version of ourselves that we are letting go. So I invite you at the moment to think about a time in the past where you felt you had no choices. For me, in childhood, I had an Italian father that he was very fearful, and so because of that he created a lot of suppression in the life of both my brother and I, where we felt like we couldn't speak. I was silenced. I lacked confidence. I didn't trust the world. And so over my years of practice, I've been shedding those layers that are still imprinting from childhood, which is then opening up to support me in a better way, because I've been able to shed the past story, that old identity, that version of me that had no voice and felt silent and powerless. So what age is coming up for you at the moment that is still locked into a certain dynamic that's holding you back from actually having better choices? Because we can say, oh, this isn't working, or my relationships are restricted, but what is holding you back is from the past, and I support my clients to unlock that, to discover where that's being held back, so that you're able to release that both from the energy field, your chakras, at the cellular level, because we've often inherited our experiences from our parents, from that fear and limitation. And so this Aries moon is about awakening to more of ourselves and really peeling back those shackles and chains and layers that no longer support us. So I invite you to take a moment just to take in that breath and notice. In the lower three chakras, especially solar plexus and base, we're asking to cut the cords from the past and retrieve the younger version of ourselves that is being held back, that feels that that version is too small and limited and constricted. So right now from the group, it feels like the age of 5. It could be around starting school. It could be about leaving home and being in a new place. So there's a real strength of that time that's holding a lot of the people in my community listening to this right now. So as you take a breath and start breathing out the solar plexus and the base, we're starting to release some of those layers, some of those beliefs, some of those locked in imprinting that is holding us back from the present, because we're still connected to that past version of ourselves. If you'd like further support with this, I'm running a wonderful group at the end of October, Illuminated Path, where we access deep healing strategies and techniques and tools from Egypt and Atlantis to step into our greatest version. So this way we're running it in community I'm supporting you daily to help you to break free of these shackles and track down where they've come from. So we're releasing a whole layer that goes wide into beliefs, thought forms, past lives, inherited patterns, and we are integrating the change so that we're able to access more of ourselves. And I know for those that have worked with me before, I have accelerated the path of my clients to actually help them to reach their potential and destiny. So for this full moon in Aries, think about what it is that you're actually releasing, that you don't want to hold on to this story of not trusting, being silent, having lack of support, not being able to share your gifts in a greater way, feeling restricted in some way, because we are still choosing to be unshackled. And as we do that, feel those layers, do a really potent ceremony. And a ceremony doesn't have to be anything really fancy. You're just creating your altar, creating the 4 directions: fire, water, earth, and air, lighting a candle, setting your intention of what it is that you are severing from. Write, journal the part that you are forgiving yourself for being held back from the past, that doesn't support you anymore, that it's been so fearful, you've tried so many different things. This is a pivotal time to set your intentions, burn that intention as you release that old version that can't move forward with you anymore. For us to step into 2020, we have to have a new framework, a new story to walk our path ahead. And as we do that, we're igniting this solar plexus, we're igniting the passion, what we're really truly here to do. So feel that breath coming out of that solar plexus, feel the breath coming out of the base chakra, feel the igniting of the soul journey that is being suppressed for so long. As we do this together in community, as a collective, we create greater change because we can't do it alone. I can feel that shifting already. There's so much more space in there, and in the space we access more of what was available that was locked in, was blocked before. So as you take that breath and keep expanding and journaling those parts of you that have held you back, those stories that you've said to yourself that have been going through your head: I can't, I don't know how, it never happens for me, I've tried and I've failed. All these stories are constantly being repeated, and that's all we hear, this constant record of negativity, of failure, of lack, of scarcity. If you want to break free of that, I'd love you to join me at the end of October for the Illuminated Path, and I'll be there to support you. So big love, and look forward to the next 2 weeks for this unshackling. Big love.